Podcast. To my right, AP18 himself. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, everybody.
And to my left, G-Dub himself. Garrett, how you doing?
Doing good.
The Wednesday Comics Forecast coming to you live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, telling the comic books coming out for February 13th, 2019. That is the day before Valentine's Day. Make sure also it's a reminder for you. Get those chocolates in order. Get that steak dinner in order. If you're going someplace where they serve a lot of meat on a kind of buffet style, make sure you got that reservation. But here we go, guys.
You better shut your mouth.
What's up? Let's talk about some books coming out this week for the comic book lovers in your life. Or maybe if you just yourself. Treat yourself. It's 2019. Treat yourself. Image Comics. Here we go first. It's called Blackbird, number 5. That is Sam Humphries and Jen Bartel on art. After taking on her anger on the Paragon cabals in the big way, there's nowhere in Los Angeles. 4 magical territories that Nina can hide. Good thing she's done hiding. It's time to throw down. Garrett, what do you think? Blackbird, number 5.
I've really enjoyed Blackbird as a series. It's kind of filling in that hole that Black Magic has left in my heart, meaning Greg Rucka's Black Magic. So it is a really fresh take on a magical world. I mean, I feel like it's seriously still just the beginning of the story. It looks beautiful. The lore behind it all isn't hard to follow so far. And instead of having it just be like a line of witches, there's like spirit animals and things like that make it pretty cool. And there's like magical gods involved, and then there's like, the Cabal, I think they're called, like you just said. But yeah, it is really one of the best books about magic coming out right now.
Criminal number 2, that's Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. The Longest Weekend, Archie Lewis was the artist in his heyday, although it's not what he's famous for. He's famous for being a nightmare to work with and dangerous. So when an old assistant is forced to chaperone his one-time mentor to receive his lifetime achievement award, well, let's say things don't go well. As always, Criminal contains back page art and articles, only found on the single issues. Alex, what do you think, Criminal number 2?
This is one of those books I'm super amped to be on. I'm a fan of Criminal. I haven't read everything that's ever come out, but in the last probably at least 4 years that there's a one-shot book that comes out, I always get it. And to know that we are now on a monthly ongoing book under the title Criminal with the original creators, I am all for it. So we're in issue 2. This book is kind of like an anthology almost of criminal-esque things. Usually there's a character or two that brings over from every other book or it's a reference, but it's always a fresh take to see what Brubaker and Phillips give us as the readers, that this is an amazing book to be on.
So this sounds like it's going to be a different story than the first issue. So the first issue was kind of like a one-shot, and then here we go again, which if you read the back matter of the last issue, he talks about they're going to do whatever they want with this. 3-issue arcs, 1 issue, maybe a long story. Who knows? So it's exciting that we're breaking into this new Criminal ongoing, and they're going to do whatever they want with it. So like Alex said, if you want to go back and read those, they are pretty good. Criminal Volume 1 is up for the Wednesday Comics Book Club. So make sure you read that also if this intrigues you. Also, by the way, I wanted to mention this up front, but I forgot. Last week we did have a forecast, but it's on Facebook only. And Garrett did that live on Facebook. So if you're interested, last week will come out. Go over there and check that out. And leave a comment for Garrett on there. Gideon Falls, number 11. This is Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino. End of the story arc, Original Sins conclusion. And this pulse-pounding conclusion of Season 2, the hottest supernatural horror story in comics. It's a surreal nightmare as Father Fred and Norton finally come face to face. Garrett, what do we think the season finale of Gideon Falls?
I'm super amped. I mean, everything's been coming to this. If you look at the cover, it doesn't really match the rest of the series, which, I don't know, just on that cover alone is kind of telling me we're going to find some answers, and obviously not going to know them all. It is exciting that it's called like the season finale of Gideon Falls. That's pretty epic. I didn't realize that's how they were kind of presenting the series. So I'm very excited to see what happens. I think we're going to see what we've all been waiting since the beginning of the series, and that's Norton and Father Fred interacting with one another. And we're going to find out why they have this connection that they do. So I'm super excited. I think, I don't know if this is going to go on a break for any time, if it's going to be a couple months, whatever. But I think this book could leave a huge cliffhanger to get you excited for the next issue.
I'm pretty sure if it's going on a hiatus, it's only for a month, because I think I saw in April it's coming back at number 12, I believe. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain I've seen the next issue coming out in April.
Magic Order 606, Mark Miller and Olivia Coppel miniseries finale. In this explosive miniseries climax is a high-octane magic battle of good versus evil as the remaining Magic Order wizards make the last stand against Madame Albany and the forces of darkness. Family bonds are tested. Blood is spilled and a black magic threatens life as we know it. Alex, Magic Order, the finale. A lot of finales this week, but the finale Magic Order. What do we think of this little miniseries, Mark Miller?
I think I'm only one issue behind. I have really enjoyed the book. I thought the series started out really strong. Near the middle, it just kind of became predictable. But being one issue behind, I could be wrong. Maybe this book is ridiculously crazy, and I never know where we're going to be turning. I'm pretty sure I know how this book will turn, but I don't know. I think it's exciting to be on these 6-issue runs with Mark Miller, but sometimes I think this guy has more in the tank, and maybe it's going to be like a Jupiter's Legacy thing where here's one 6-issue run. I'm going to do a little filler arc, and then here's another 6-issue run of a mini, who knows? This book is pretty good, but I'm also one of those people that I'm kind of hard when it comes on a finish. Can Mark Miller finish this book strong like he opened it?
There we go. Next book on the docket here, TMNT 91. This is IDW Publishing. This is Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, Michael Dialamus. I don't know. How do you say that name? Kari?
Oh, Karai. Sorry.
Karai returns to New York City and means business. While she comes to Splinter and the TMNT seeking peace or war, a pivotal turning point. Alex, 2 questions here. 1, is that Chewbacca on the cover? And 2, how's this book doing?
1, no, it's not Chewbacca. That is actually a mole-like god creature that Karai met. This book is amazing, and I'm so pumped that we're 9 issues away from 100. I can only imagine, much like 50, that 100 is going to be a very strong, epic, expanded issue of, I'm assuming, Karai trying to take over the Foot Clan. So we're going to hopefully get a Shredder-esque character. If not, we're also getting that Shredder in Hell book, which, who knows? Shredder's a badass. He may just be coming back and then taking over the Foot Clan. I don't know what to expect from this book, but this book is spectacular. If you love the TMNT like I do, right now I'm currently watching the 1980s 8 up through the 90s 10-season run of the Turtles. It's full of jokes, lots of puns. This book is gritty, and yet it still has that reminiscent feeling of the old cartoon.
Alex, what issue was that? I'm sorry. 81? What issue is the one coming out this week? TMNT? What's the issue number?
91.
91. So you got 9 issues to the 100 issue. Are you looking forward to 100 issues? Is that going to be a big climax of this story?
I think it'd have to be a giant climax. So the biggest climax we had was issue 50, Splinter kills Shredder.
Death of Shredder.
Read it.
Maybe 100 we have the resurrection of Shredder. Who knows?
And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either that or Karai will actually take over the Foot Clan, and she will become the Shredder.
You know, the Wednesday Comics universe is still waiting on that TMNT episode. One day we'll get it. Who knows?
Maybe. You never know. I think the closest you're going to get is what we got when we did the last episode.
That's true. We did talk about that. There we go. IDW not that much this week. They must be taking a little break there. Batman Who Laughs is DC Comics, DC Universe, number 3 of 6, Scott Snyder and Jock. Garrett, how's this book doing so far? Batman, the Batman Who Laughs.
I love Batman Who Laughs. I think issue 2 of the series was the most Detective Batman I've gotten in years. I think Scott Snyder, say what you will about his epic broad writing now, but like I think he still gets Batman pretty well. He did, dive into that character for 5 to 6 years, so I think he understands him really well. So I think there's a lot of strengths coming out of this book that I was not expecting, because I've been dealing with Scott Snyder writing these grand epic stories, and it's nice to see him write a Batman story, and I think that's what he does best, is not these huge things, but these mission-oriented characters that don't have these huge threats to face. They have their threats to face. So Batman Who Laughs is terrifying. Grim Knight is awesome. Is basically the Punisher Batman. And then, again, Batman being a detective, people don't realize he's a detective sometimes, so it's great to see him do his detective work.
I think the nice thing about Batman Who Laughs, the book, is that after reading Metal kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for any character that Snyder may write. This is a very strong character, and it really is a nice counteractive, arch-enemy, villain-esque guy for Bruce to go up against. I mean, Bruce is going against Bruce. It's just Bruce is a nut job. Spectacular. This book is very well written.
Speaking of Detective Comics number 998, that's 2 away from 1,000. Peter J. Tomasi, Doug Mankey, and Jaime Mendoza. Batman's tried everything on Earth to stop the menace hunting his friends and family. Now it's time to churn things not of this Earth. In the past, whenever Batman encountered the supernatural, he's turned to Jason Blood for guidance and to Etrigan, the demonic entity living within inside him. But securing their help is never simple, and what Blood has to show him will shake Batman to his core. Garrett, how is Batman Detective Comics doing? We're on the road to 1,000. I guess he's called the countdown to 1,000. How's it going so far?
I really love it. I think that Peter Tomasi is kicking ass writing the story for this book. It's tying back to Batman's origins, because there's a copycat, not a copycat killer, but almost like a Clayface-esque villain who can appear as other villains, more of like a chameleon from the Spider-Man universe. But basically this monster staged the killing of Thomas and Martha Wayne using other humans and morphing their like bodies to be almost identical to Martha and Thomas Wayne. Pretty terrifying. But, I mean, I don't want to spoil, but the cliffhanger of the last issue, we kind of see who's the man behind the monster, which I can't believe, like, I didn't think about the villain until I saw it, and I was like, oh, crap. But I think it's going to be a fun, 2 issues leading up to 1,000. I don't know how, from the cliffhanger, that Batman's going to end up being with, did you say Brother Blood?
What? Jason Blood.
Yeah, okay. Jason Blood, how he's going to end up with him. Because, again, the cliffhanger was pretty huge that I don't see that wrapping up very quickly. But I'm loving Detective Comics, and I can't wait for issue 1,000.
There we go. Jason. Flash number 64. This is Joshua Williamson and Raphael Sandoval. Jordy Tarragona.
Sorry, that noise you hear in the background is my dog snoring.
Oh, Chris Burnham on the cover. By the way, what happened to Chris Burnham? Like, I haven't seen him in a while. He's just doing covers. Maybe there's a book that comes out that I'm not aware that he's writing or drawing. Let me know.
Die?
Huh?
Isn't Chris Burnham doing Die?
No, he's not. Oh, Die. Oh, yes, you're right. I thought you meant Die, and I was like, nah, he's not in that book. The Price Part 2, this is that crossover between Batman and The Flash. Is anybody getting The Flash right now?
Yeah, I am.
I still get The Flash, but I'm not caught up on it. But this is one of those things I actually enjoy the crossovers with Batman, because it's nice to see The Flash and Batman actually do detective work instead of just being these super friends hanging out.
Did you guys get a chance to read the first part of the story?
No.
Nope, not yet.
I haven't either.
But I am excited because, like, what Flash has been lately is just, I've been starting to lose interest real fast. So I think this Batman Flash crossover is going to be a good thing for the series, because if I have to spend another 3 issues reading about these forest quests where nothing actually gets answered, then I'm going to, like, go crazy.
Here we go. Red Hood Outlaw, Scott Lobdell, Pete Woods. Red Hood and Arsenal begin their investigation of the underlife together in Beijing, and this is where it ends in an abandoned prison in Mexico. With Roy Harper having passed, Jason Todd finds himself teamed with an ally he couldn't imagine, Wingman. But wait, wasn't Jason the face beneath Wingman's mask in Batman Incorporated? When it's all over, Red Hood arrives at the conclusion that will shake the streets of Gotham City forever. I was going to say that is Wingman, and that's from Batman Incorporated, so... how is Alex Red Hood Outlaw? 31. How's it going so far?
I'm trying to think if I'm 1 or 2 issues behind. I've liked this book, but I think every time you ask me if I like it, this book doesn't feel the same as it has, and I get that's the point, is that it's supposed to be Jason experiencing life on his own without the Bat family or without his new outlaw family, and it's him kind of being not Punisher-esque, but he really is kind of just beating the crap out of everybody and all the bad guys that get in the way, trying to get answers. I don't know if this is a book that I care about nearly as much as I had. Like, this is one of my top 5 favorite Rebirth titles, but that's when Jason seemed to be a family man, and I'm kind of missing out on that, and I miss Artemis, and I miss Bizarro, and I'm sure we'll eventually get into it. Who knows? Maybe they've made some appearances that I'm unaware of because I am far behind. But that's what I want. I want that for Jason. I don't care for this badassery.
Jason. Here we go. Scooby-Doo Apocalypse, number 34. Keith Giffen, J.M. DeManus, Pat Olaf, Gus Van Kess. Garrett, how's the final war with Fred going? Scooby-Doo Apocalypse.
It's going good. I can't believe the series has lasted as long as it has. I mean, I'm very grateful because I do enjoy it quite a bit. But I'm starting to feel like maybe we're close to the conclusion of this series. If not, they need to add more stakes to the book to keep pushing forward, because we're kind of getting to the end of, I mean, you can't have any other Scooby members show up as zombies. I mean, that's been done. So, it'd be nice to see them progress the story a little bit more. Otherwise, I think it's almost time to wrap that book up. But it's been a lot of fun. No mysteries are solved, but it's Scooby Gang in the apocalypse.
Here we go. Superman number 8, Brian Michael Bendis, Brandon Peterson, Joe Prado, Ivan Rice. The epic secrets of Superman continue to unfold. A few months into space with his paternal grandfather, Jor-El, changed John Kent forever. With John now seeking help from his father, the Man of Steel must learn about the war his son and father fought together and set right the wrongs his father may have unleashed in other worlds. See what changed Superboy in such radical ways as the Unity saga continues. Garrett, what happened to John here?
Obviously, he became older.
How old is he there? Supposed to be teenager?
I think he's like 17.
27.
No, 17.
75.
And he was like 11 or 12, I believe. Actually, the best issue of this entire series, I think, was the last issue. And that's not saying a lot, but there was some really good Lois, Clark, and John moments. I still think the plot of John going to space with his grandpa, who basically tried to kill all humans, doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And from the story that John tells, he gets separated from his grandpa like right away. So it was just a waste of plot to serve no purpose.
What do you mean the purpose right there? He's now older.
Yeah, but that doesn't make storytelling better. Whatever. Regardless, it is good to see them as a family again. I don't think Bendis really gets how to write John. So that's maybe the only negative, because when Tomasi and Gleason were writing John, it was way different than what we're getting in this. Because this John is arrogant and full of himself. And then maybe that's from coming with age, but even when he wrote him in the Man of Steel mini, I was like, who the hell is this? So it is getting better, but I would still give it a 5 as a series. So it's very average.
All right, check it out, Superman. Action Comics is the one Garrett likes, though, right? All right. The Wonder Twins, #1 of 6, Mark Russell and Stephen Byrne. Dustin Wynn on the cover. Exile from their home planet, alien heroes Zan and Jenna must navigate life as teens on Earth at South Metropolis High School, where they're even bigger outsiders than the typical awkward young adults. Under the watchful eye of Superman, the brother and sister pull monitor duty at the Hall of Justice as interns, while also trying to overcome the pitfalls of Zan's brush confidence and Jana's sweet but streetwise persona. If you think you know the Wonder Twins, think again. This book takes the form of the unexpected, so I want to let you know about that. Wonder Twins powers are activated. Mark Russell, writer of Flintstones and the Snagglepuss book that I made my book club, and then I changed it. By the way, I'm still going to talk about that book. But here he is on this book here, Stephen Brian, excuse me. Dustin Wynn on that cover. So Wonder Twins, it's a little mini here by Wonder Comics. Go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, I was going to get it, but then I saw it was a mini, and I'm like, I'm just trying to stay away from minis if I can, so I'm not going to be picking it up, but I will pick it up in trade for sure.
Wonder Twins Activate. Is that you and your brother?
Well, yeah, of course. If hashtag guess this one's a girl, then yes.
Wonder Woman 64, G. Willow Wilson, Jesus Morano, Terry and Rachel Dotson on the cover there. Jesus is on this book, boy. There's a god in Victoria Kill's basement, and it's not happy as the Olympian Pantheon begins to be reborn around the globe. Each one could become a deadly weapon in the right hands. Unfortunately for Wonder Woman, the literal god of grudges, grievances, and gripes is in the clutch of the most virtual foe. Alex, what do you think? Wonder Woman #64, Monsters in the Basement.
I'm going to let everybody in on a secret. I'm at least 5 behind on this book. I was so amped to get this book, and I have yet to even take them out of their sleeves. It always looks good. Like, that cover always looks amazing. I love Dotson's on their work. It's so on point. And you guys have told me this book is good, so I don't know why I'm not willing to take them out of their protective sleeves and read them. But this goes for the same for all Marvel books that are on this list. Nothing's been read. They are all paperweights.
Garrett, what do we think about that Wonder Woman book?
I think it's as great as when, probably going back to the end of Greg Rucka's run, it's just fresh. We're dealing with the actual Olympian gods. We're not dealing with stupid plot about Wonder Woman chasing bunnies or whatever the heck she was doing for the last 15 issues that James Robinson wrote. But this book stands alone on its own. G. Willow Wilson is just writing this character. Like, I get so absorbed into the comic that's Wonder Woman. Like, I don't think this is G. Willow Wilson writing this character. I think that's just how Wonder Woman is. And so I think that she's doing a killer job with this character and the supporting cast. I mean, Steve Trevor and Etta and well, there's some other gods that I haven't seen Wonder Woman interact with before, and that's really exciting. And then there are some gods that I've seen her interact with that I'm like, okay, well. So I recommend everyone go back. I think it was issue 61 was the beginning of her arc, or 60. Totally worth checking out, getting your Wonder Woman fix.
Here we go. Marvel Comics we have here. Age of X-Men, Next Gen #1 of 5. I want to just bring this up. I don't think any of us will be getting this, but Ed Brisson, Marcus Toe, Chris Pacello on the cover. That's a good team. Enter the Age of X-Men and the Age of Utopia. The Summers Institute for Higher Learning is a premier school for the mutant community across the globe. Attendance is mandatory for all mutant children as they learn to become the next generation of marvelous X-Men. But even in a utopian society, teenagers will always find a way to rebel. Follow Glob, Armor, Anole, and Rockslide to discover what it means to live in the age of peace and harmony. I believe this book, if I am correct, it's the Age of X-Men universe, so it's on its own thing. It's not in continuity, so if you're looking for an X-Men book just to read, that's not a bad team to put on a book. So there you go. Made to Spider-Man #15, Nick Spencer, Chris Pacello. Speaking of Chris Pacello, there we go. Paulo Rivera on the cover there. Aunt May is in danger, and only Spider-Man can help her. You think you know where the story like this is going, but you don't, because Taskmaster and Black Ant are on the scene, and they don't have a problem with collateral damage. Amazing Spider-Man 15, that's once again Marvel. Those aren't bullet points. But Garrett, how's this book so far?
I think this is one of the best Spider-Man books out there right now, or one of the best Spider-Man books being written probably the last 5 to 10 years. I really am enjoying the Miles Morales Spider-Man comic right now and the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I think this is the strongest. I think there's just something great about Nick Spencer being able to shape his own Spider-Man universe in continuity. I don't know. We're dealing with all the fan favorite characters. You got, Mary Jane, J. Jonah Jameson. We have some of Peter's past villains, and then Ryan Ottley's art style is just incredible. So, and then the guest artists have really matched Ryan Ottley's style, so it feels like one piece of work. And I don't know, it's exciting. We have some Craven coming up here. I'm sure that's getting Alex excited, and gosh, it just really is great.
So there we go. Amazing
I think that's going to be the push to get me caught up, is that Craven's going to be showing up soon, and I want to just binge read so that when he shows up, I'm like, hells to the yeah, kill me some Spider-Man.
Alex, I got 2 kids and I'm all caught up in everything. Descender read the whole thing, so I don't know what you're over there. I don't know what you're over there doing.
Shit.
Avengers. Avengers No Road Home, number 1 of 10. Al Ewing, Jim Zub, Mark Wade, Paco Mandia, and Yasmin Puri. A team that brought you Avengers No Surrender reunites for an all-new weekly event. Weekly? Okay. Night has fallen across the universe. Now 7 Avengers and 1 new addition journey forth to bring back the light. But when will they treat the threat they face has destroyed even the gods? Will anyone make it home? $4.99. New event for Avengers. I thought this thing was going to be an event, but it's not going to be weekly. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure that's a good some good writing team. So check that out. But for $5 a weekly, not my type. Captain Marvel 2, Kelly Thompson, Carmen Nuzin Carnino, Revolution. I have a question here. I bought this. I purchased this, but I did not read it yet. Did anybody here pick this up?
I'm going to pick it up digitally.
Oh, okay. Didn't read it yet, though? Okay. So this book is out. I'm not sure. I haven't heard the vibe. See if this book is good or not. But Kelly Thompson is a good writer, so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Probably pick up 2 and read 2, 1, 2 back to back. There you go. Dead Man, Logan, 4 of 12. Ed Brisson, Mike Henderson, Declan Shelby, Left for Dead. Garrett, you said you were talking about Dead Man Logan on some show that hasn't came out yet. How's it going?
It is so good. We've been talking about Return of Wolverine in conjunction with this series, and Return of Wolverine is absolute dog shit. And Dead Man Logan, me and Alex talked a couple months back there. We were kind of getting fatigued by Old Man Logan. Well, fuck that, because the Wolverine we're getting right now is so bad, and the story is just so uninteresting that I'm glad we had Dead Man, Old Man Logan for the next 3 months still. Right, that's not right. Next 8 months. I know, I was like, something's not adding up there. But this book is great. The art style is super gritty and like that kind of apocalyptic feel. And this is a Wolverine that has nothing to lose. He's trying to get back to his home, and nothing's going to stop him except, old age and not being able to heal as fast. So, it's going to be a hell of a ride all the way to the end. And, I don't know. It's going to be kind of sad if, we're left with the Wolverine in its current state, when we had at least Dead Man Logan was true to the character, and now we're getting some flaming Wolverine. And then his claws. Flaming Wolverine claws. Wolverine.
Savage Sword of Conan, number 1. Jerry Dugan, Ron Garney, Alex Ross on that cover. The Ancient Cults of Kugadun, a mystical treasure, and the man who can save the hybrid age. Adrift at sea, no food, no weapons. Death surely awaits him. But the Lionheart Conan is not so easily subdued by Crumb. When Conan finds himself captured, he unleashes his might on the unexpected pirate crew, one whose dark secrets can plunge Conan on the trail of the ancient treasure that may prove to be his undoing. An all-new age of Savage Sword of Conan brings with it a 5-part tale of swords and sorcery by Jerry Dugan and Ron Garney, with covers by Alex Ross. I think this book here, Welcome to the Deadly hybrid and age help you survive the experience. Parental advisory is on this book. I think this is going to be the action kind of mature book that we thought the first one was going to be, and the first one's more going to be like an epic Conan. So I might check this out. I love Rob Garney's art. Ron Garney. And Jerry Dugan is a pretty good writer. I did like him on Deadpool when he was writing that. So we'll see.
I'm interested to hear your guys' review of that book.
Well, I'm going to look at the preview right now and see what it looks like. Already,
did not enjoy Conan at all.
Already in the preview, I got somebody, he's choking somebody out, then he kicks somebody in the balls on the next page, so there's a lot of action.
I think if it's only a 5-issue run, I might as well just wait for it, though.
Oh, it's a 5-issue mini?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm curious, though, because I like that team. But I wanted to say they just announced Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to come back for the next Conan movie, so there we go. I believe it's when Conan's older, so and he's king. So get your Conan on now. Marvel Tales Black Widow #1. This is Stanley, George, Captain, and more. Harry, Sean, Don Heck, and more. I believe this is a compilation of Black Widow stories and one new story. So if you're looking for some Black Widow stories, there you go. $7.99, but also it's oversized. It's got some, let's see here, Mystic Comics #4, Tales of Suspense #52, Amazing Spider-Man #86, Amazing Adventures #1, Marvel Fanfare #10, and then an all-new story, Red Widow, First Strike #1. So here you go. If you want to read some Black Widow. So I brought this up because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Garrett, but hashtag SOS1 is a huge fan of Count Dooku, Star Wars Count Dooku, Jodie Hauser, Luke Ross. The former Jedi begins laying the groundwork for his Sith master. However, an unexpected encounter with an old student threatens his plans. Caught between his old life and his new, will Dooku be able to protect the secrets of the Sith? And does he control the dark side, or is it merely its tool? Garrett, am I correct? Does your brother like that book? I mean, that character?
I don't think so.
When I hear Count Dooku, I think hashtag SOS1. I don't know why. I think one time, before the Last Jedi came out, I believe he had some theories about Count Dooku or whatever. I'm not sure. But Count Dooku, there you go. Winter Soldier #3 of 5. This is Kyle Higgins and Rod Rice. This book's been delayed for a while, right? When did #2 come out?
#2 came out last month.
Oh, did it? Well, it might be another scenario like Captain America where I didn't realize it. So, Winter Soldier #3, how's it going? Who read it? Alex, you catch up on this since last month? Okay, Garrett, here we go.
Hilarious.
It is really good. It's the same team as Cowl. It's the same team as most of, Hadrian's Wall. He also did the art for Secret Empire. Rod Rice did. It looks great. And the story is actually fun to follow. You know, it's a little different role for Winter Soldier. Instead of being the Winter Soldier, he's using his powers in a different way than you'd expect. And it just makes it really fun. So, you know I said I've been trying to stay away from minis, but I couldn't help myself with this team. They just work so well together, and I can't believe we're going to be already halfway through this book.
One more left. Go Power Rangers. This is Boom Studios #17. Ryan Perrett, Eleonora Killarney, Marcus Toe on the cover. Rita needs the green power coin to recreate a ranger of her own, but in order to move forward, she must first go back to the home she left behind. Garrett, Go Power Rangers. How's that going?
So good. I'm so glad that there's 2 Power Ranger books coming out because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers isn't that good right now. But Go has been great since the beginning. You know, we started with Ryan Parrott and Dan Mora on art. The story has continued to be amazing, and this is more like the Mighty Morphin book with the Mighty Morphin characters. I look forward to it every time it comes out because of keeping that Power Rangers fire alive.
Those are the books for this week. Alex, what do you think is going to be your pick this week? All right.
Sorry. Hang on.
Bless you. Jeez.
Sorry. TMNT #91. I'm on the road to 100. I'm so excited to see Cry, Bludgeon, Koya, and that mole person. I'm going to call him Dirtbag because that's who the character was in the 80s. I'm excited for this book. I am on this. Let's read it and kick some ass.
Garrett, what do you think? What's going to be your pick?
I'm going to go with The Batman Who Laughs #3. I I think issue 2 was incredible. It kind of revamped my love for Batman, because it's just, when Batman's a detective, there's nothing, there's nothing like it. And so it's very cool to see him be the full capacity Batman that he should be.
The book I'm looking forward to the most is Criminal number 2, Sean Phillips, Ed Brubaker, and Sean's son. I forget what his first name is, but no question to anybody who listens to this show, because last year my top 5, that was the honorary Kill or Re-Killed list, because I forgot to put it on the list. But it probably was one of my favorite books last year. So to see this team continuing doing work, and especially in a series in which I know that they love and good stories can come out of, Criminal number 2 is the one I'm looking forward to the most this week. But actually, Image, we have Magic Order, we have Gideon Falls, we have this. I am curious to see how those 3 continue their story, in Magic Order, how it ends it. I looked at not really much. There's one DC I'm getting. Marvel, I think maybe there's just 1, 2, but it's mostly Image for me this week. So nice little stack. Not much, but hopefully quality we get out of that. Alex, I'm going to ask you a question here. I had a kid last week. I was in the hospital with this kid, and then we got out, went home. Not really leaving the house much. Can't really with an infant. I've been outside that much. Came outside today. Snow all over the place. What's going on out there?
Well, I'm gonna let you in a secret. It's winter, so it's possible that when clouds form,
winter is over
of rain
on January 31st. That's when the cutoff is. The groundhog popped up and he told me, "Hey," true. He said it's done.
Yes, 6 weeks from now it will be done. So in March.
No, he said early. He said early spring.
I'm gonna let you on. I don't know how to explain it to you, but winter water that belongs in the clouds instead of rain comes down as snow because it crystallizes and it's cold down on Earth. You know what? Put your coats on. Marvin, probably for you, don't leave the house. Just stay home. Order in some food.
Well,
You'll be fine. It'll blow over.
Alex, if you know anything about me, when I used to
because today I drove home in snow and it sucked.
When I used to work at home, I never left my house, so I was living that.
I know that to be a fact.
Alex, quick question before we get to this road report from Garrett. The groundhog comes out of his hole. If he sees his shadow, then we get 6 more weeks of winter.
Correct.
And I believe that's how you tell the weather too, right? You go in your hole?
I do. I go out in the wee morning hours and I look, and if my shadow's there, it scares me back into the house. So I know it's going to be a bad day of weather.
Yeah.
If it's still, if I don't see my shadow, I go outside and I'm playing in the snow.
And if I remember correctly,
even if it's snowy and below 0, I'm outside playing because guess what? I'm not afraid.
If I remember correctly, 2 weeks ago, you left the show because you forgot to do your weather report. So you went to go bury yourself in dirt and see if you saw your shadow, but it didn't turn out so well at night.
I was pulling an ostrich, stuck my face right in the sand. Don't know what happened.
Garrett, the roads, how they doing?
This week, we have a lot of good stuff coming out. I think you're definitely want to maybe risk it to get the biscuit and get some of the good comics. The other ones you might still want to get in case you need to do a fire on the side of the road. You never know if you need to keep yourself warm. But as far as the potholes are concerned, yeah, you might want to avoid them, but don't swerve because then you're not getting to the comic shop. So if the weatherman is correct, there will be weather happening on that day.
There you go. The road and weather report. I just love that somebody new might be listening to this show and he's saying, why is he actually giving me the weather? And then why is this guy not giving me the road report? It's just, it's 2 very different things, but I'll let you know something. The road is affected by the weather. So especially where we are, I bet you anything in Florida right now, it's probably 100 degrees. So don't listen to that forecast. For you, go there as fast as possible. Nice little week. We weren't here last week. Like I said, Facebook, go to Facebook and watch Garrett's video if you want to see what came out last week. We'll be here going forward. No more kids for me. Well, who knows about Alex and Garrett? I don't know. But for at least the person who knows how to record it, I'll be here.
Does that mean that you're getting a vasectomy?
Very possible. Who knows what's going on?
We might be breaching on too much information territory.
You heard it here first.
If you need your tubes tied,
come to
call Marvin.
Oh, guys. Oh, well, we're in a bind here. I don't know. Like, Is that too much to leave that in? Oh, okay. For Wednesday Comics, we'll see you next week. Actually, no. This week we have a special show for you guys before we leave here. We did pre-record it because it's Valentine's Day, and Garrett has got a hot date going somewhere. Who knows where? You know, could be going to Chinese. Who knows? Could be going to an Italian restaurant. Who knows? Could be going somewhere Brazilian. Who knows? So we don't know where he's going on his date, but he's going to be out. So we thought instead of having another show where there wasn't the three of us, we have a special show for you, a Valentine's Day special. I'll release it on Thursday, and then expect the forecast on Monday, and then new show on regular schedule starting on Sundays again the week afterwards with comic reviews and everything. So have a good week. My name is Marvin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep reading those books.